Welcome to Amazon Answers. I'm Jared, and today I'm answering your Wonder Woman related questions. What's up, Cameron? So yeah, today we're returning to the roots of Amazon Answers because, as you guys know, this started as a Wonder Woman question and answer stream that I did on a random Sunday. So I figured, screw it. We'll do a little question and answer thing. I haven't done one in a while. So yeah, any Wonder Woman questions that you guys have, go ahead and drop them in the chat and I'll answer them. That's the purpose of this. Hey, what's up, NJ? So yeah, any Wonder Woman related questions, light them up. Let's do this. In the meantime, I will say I've been very much enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman. You'll see my and Brit's review on the Super Wonder episode that comes out tomorrow. I really like the new episode that is like showing up there that I've really dug. And a lot of the new like costumes and concepts in that. Kelly Thompson really knows what she's doing when it comes to like Wonder Woman stuff. Like, it is hilarious how well that this goes. But yeah, so any questions about Wonder Woman whatsoever, whether or not that's from like her battles, her costumes, whatever you guys would like to know. Well, my first question, all right, when it comes to casting her relationship with Ares, how do you feel like it should be portrayed? You mean a relationship with Zeus? Because she really has more of a relationship with Zeus because Zeus is actually her father. That's also why some people think that the Zeus origin doesn't work for Wonder Woman, because the thing is, it makes Diana less unique when compared to the other Wonder Women, the other Wonder Woman characters, because like then she's just another child of Zeus. Now, I don't have that much of a violent like aversion to it as some people do, but I get why. I personally again prefer the Clay origin, because the Clay origin I think is better when it comes to like to that type of stuff. It's that type of stuff. But yeah, so that's really in terms of that. In terms of her relationship with Ares, just do it in a way where it's like he's not, where like they're respectful and stuff, and you should be fine. That's what I would say. But yeah, so what other questions do you guys have? Could be anything Wonder Woman related. There's a very loose theme today in terms of, well, really anything. So really no theme really. So just let me know, and then we can definitely have some fun with that. Could be any questions whatsoever as it relates to Wonder Woman, her comic storylines, anything you guys would like to know about, including how DC has been handling the character, because I know that everyone always inevitably asks me about that. Lord knows that's a complicated relationship. JOS with God says, is Wonder Woman Hades' daughter? Nope. And Absolute does not. No. Absolute does not have her be Hades' daughter. You might want to check that. She just fought in the Hades arena, and no, they never did that. Like the JLU did it stupidly. Like they let me put it this way: don't ever take the DCAU's like opinion on Wonder Woman at all, because they arguably did more damage to the character, as much damage to the character as Injustice did. Milo Hansen says, isn't the baby from the early New 52 Wonder Woman also the son of Zeus? No, he's actually Zeus. He's actually Zeus. In the New 52 run, the kid was like the Zeus reincarnated. So that's where that came from. So that's the point there. Again, really, when it comes to the DCAU, and I just want to emphasize again, Wonder Woman is not the daughter of Hades. That was never a thing in Absolute, in regular comics, or even and here, even in the DCAU, they made that kind of like back and forth on if that's real. But the problem is, of all the things you can make real, it's like that is some of the worst stuff I've ever seen. As you guys can tell, I'm not exactly a big fan of the DCAU. For those of you that are just here, You got, for those of you that have followed this channel for a while, you know why. But in the meantime, it's because Batman is not the center of the DC universe, nor should he be. But in the DCU, he is. Everyone exists to worship Batman. But anyway, what other questions do you guys have about any Wonder Woman related content? There's animated stuff, there's comic books, there's any number of things that you guys think could be really fun to talk about. There's even Kingdom Come, DC, whatever you guys would like to discuss. Anything whatsoever when it comes to Wonder Woman, her lore, her side characters, anything that you guys would like to know about. And in the meantime, it's like, so the thing, one of the issues that I see a lot of times with DC's handling of Wonder Woman is basically, it's the idea that they put writers on her that do not know the character. Like, not enough people actually understand who the character is, how she would react, what she would actually do. And that's where a lot of the problems arise. The other thing comes into it where, like, even some of the fans don't know, like, Wonder Woman at all or Wonder Woman's lore. So it's like, if you don't know the lore for the character, maybe you ought to, like, stop using the character or stop using the lore of the character. Or it's like, here's the thing. If someone asks you to write something that's, like, not like a character that you're an expert of, just say no. I know this would never be a thing, at least I hope not, but should Veronica be the person behind it all? Wonder Woman's villains like Chicken and Cheetah. You mean main universe or absolute? Because they are doing it in absolute. What do you think should be the definitive origin for Donna Troy? The origin that actually Britt brought up on the show that's coming out tomorrow, my co-host Britt, is that it's the origin where, like, she is a mirror reflection of Diana that was created by, like, I think it was Cersei, but later became, like, her own character instead of the fire thing. Main or DC? Oh yeah, you mean in terms of that? I would say no. I think that I like the idea of them all being, like, from different origins and stuff, and there not being one through line throughout, like, the villains, because I feel like that oversimplifies them. That's just me. Can we get the return of Hippolyta? Again, you just have to see what happens when Tom King leaves the book, because as far as we know, that could be the plan. But we just have to see what the Wonder Woman book is going to look like after King's run ends, which in all likelihood will be this year, at least end of this year, because of, like, issue 40 and stuff. But let's hope it's a low amount, because I do think like it would be the best if they could just ignore all this stuff and just bring back Hippolyta. And, like, again, this goes back to what I say when they should re-Perez Wonder Woman. Just re-Perez it. Like, go back to the way the things the way the universe was set up with Wonder Woman. And what I mean by that is, if you look at, like, that origin, if you look at the way that was set up, and not really that origin, when I mean go back, re-Perez, I don't necessarily mean hard reboot Wonder Woman. You kind of could, but what I would do is probably make it so Wonder Woman, like, so first thing you would do is Steve does come back, but have him go through the idea about, like, how, like, the idea about, like, I'm trying to figure out the way to phrase this. Okay, yeah. So the way that you make it so, like, Steve is older is that you have it be a consequence of, like, cheating death, like the consequences that he ages up, and then it's like that's why he's the older George Perez age. Then you bring back Julia, you bring back Vanessa. How can you see Diana and Belly story, I assume you're saying, because I'm surprised they never done this, considering they're both tied to Greek myth. Yeah, they really should. I mean, I could see her trying to like teach him how to run his how to like use his powers and stuff, and maybe learn how to like learn how to essentially like learn that yeah, the gods give you your powers, but you shouldn't use them as like ideas. Hey, what's up, X-Men super fam? Should the DCU Cheetah origin involve Cersei or a mystical relic? Mystical relic. Keep it as close to the comic book as usual. The only thing that I would say also, do not make Cheetah a good person beforehand. She's not. The biggest, like, in my mind, damage that Greg Rucka did was make it so like Cheetah is like that Cheetah is like a sympathetic character. He's not. She's not. She definitely is not. That's not a thing. Who would be a better Cheetah for the DCU, Priscilla or Barbara, or the OG or the most popular? I would go with, in this case, I would go with Priscilla Rich, because here's the thing about that. That way you do something a little different as opposed to like the other Wonder Woman, as opposed to the other Wonder Woman movies. You separate it from the DCU and such. That's a way to do it. I only say that because I can't be the only one that thinks Billy's a super Wonder Son, right? There was a storyline that kind of dealt with that. Legos goes, when the mystical relic make her backstory closer to the DCEU version? It depends on the mystical relic, and the mystical relic thing is the comic book origin. So it's like, even if the DCU did that, I would say just like do the comics origin. Now, that being said, you could still do that with Priscilla Rich, so that way have that level of separation from the DCEU if you really want that. Which one was that? There was a storyline that dealt with that where I think it's like where Superman, it was in Elseworlds where Superman and Wonder Woman were like the only people on Earth. They were in a relationship, and then I think it was Billy was their son, or there was something like that. I'll have to ask Britt about that. Priscilla is irredeemable and Barbara's more sympathetic. Both are good. There's something so fun about Priscilla being bad for love of the game. Priscilla is that bad for love of the game. That's also Barbara. It's just Rucka has this big thing on trying to make every character sympathetic so they can have sex with Wonder Woman. And it's like, no, can we get some villains that are villains? Because Cheetah, New 52 Cheetah was not in any way it was not in any way like a sympathetic character. That's the regular one, but it's like, no, you need to make these characters sympathetic. You need to do this. But it's like, no, too many people. It's Rucka caters to the Twitter audience, and it's no wonder why his books don't sell. Like, look at the Cheetah robs the Justice League book, or the Watchtower book. They keep changing the title. That book, a few times, was out of the 200 list, multiple issues, and then it ended at 160. So it's not like he is this like what's the word? That's the word. It's like irreproachable Wonder Woman writer. He's a Wonder Woman writer that you could take an opinion for, but it's like he shouldn't be that. There's no writer should be the be all end all is what I'm talking about. Excuse me. That's my point there. No writer should be the be all end all of a character. The one that is in every team is Cersei, and that's fun to me. Yeah, exactly. There were some times that they make Cheetah like a more complicated character, like she does stuff. She does what she does for her daughter. But yes, I like how they actually make her a villain. She just hates her. Yeah, it was also fun. Yeah, exactly. There are plenty of Wonder Woman villains that you can use. It's just too many writers want to have too many writers and some fans want to have don't want to have like villains that are just evil for evil's sake. You know, I'm sorry, that's the way that this works. That is just the way this works. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. That's the way good storytelling actually works. But so what other quick questions do you guys have about Wonder Woman? And Milo says, should the you mean DCU use the first Artemis Amazonian Archer or the Artemis Young Justice, basically Green Arrows thing? For me, that used to confuse me. What do you mean they can use both? I mean, in terms of, I think if they use any character that's named Artemis, it will be the Amazon, and not even that, because we don't even know how deep, like how deep they're gonna go into like the D-list characters. Like, granted, it is Gunn we're talking about, but you also need people to actually have like pitches for the characters, and if they don't, he's not gonna do it. So that's what some people don't really realize. Like, could they do this? Could they do this? And by the way, I understand that like conjecture's fun, 100%. What influences would you like Paradise Lost to have? George Perez for one, the actual Paradise Lost comic for another. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're redoing that. So it's still Game of Thrones, but it's with Diana as opposed to without her. I wouldn't be surprised. But so I would say, yeah, Perez mostly, Charles Sewell. Let's see what else do we have there. I would say maybe John Byrne, but you want to do stuff that really expands on the Amazons and their lore. Who are your top three favorite top five Wonder Woman villains? Okay, Grail, Cersei, Cheetah. Want to say Ares, but that's like Dr. Psycho and Silver Swan. Those are my five. What weakness do you think DCU Wonder Woman should have? Also, do you think she should get her bracelets that limit her power? That works if they're doing the Zeus origin, because that's why. If they're not doing the Zeus origin, I don't think they should do that. But if you're talking about what weakness is, I mean, they could, if people weren't going to make jokes, I would say if you bind her hands together, she loses her powers, but that could get explicit really fast. So I'm like, nah, don't do that. If I'm going for for weaknesses, I mean, yeah, you could do that, honestly, but it's like I don't know how to go with that. It's interesting. And are you enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman? More than I can ever say. Wonder Woman is basically OP, and she should be. Keep her OP. Keep her OP. Because she is that. She has no kryptonite definitive weakness, nor should she have. I don't think she needs one. There are many ways that you can weaken Wonder Woman that don't involve giving her an actual weakness. At least in my opinion. Yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman X-Men Superfan is really good. It's the one Wonder Woman book. So let me show you the Wonder Woman books that I have this month that I'm going to be reviewing it for members only. So if you guys want to check them out, consider becoming a member. So let me pull this up. Let me get my single issues of Wonder Woman that I have. So I have, all right, and is that it? Yeah. All right. I got Absolute Wonder Woman number 16, Wonder Woman 29 by Stephanie Williams, the good one, and then the Black and Gold special for 2026. That one's going to be, I'm really excited for that one. Let me put these back and then get back to answering all y'all's amazing questions. All right, let's see what we got here. I think her moral code could be a kryptonite. I don't think stopping her is herself. That's a great idea. I actually like that a lot. You said the Wonder War has a chance to do a soft reboot via time travel. Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking on that. And the solicits do, for the most part right now, back this up. Because the solicits imply that, okay, so there's going to be a battle, obviously. And this is issue 2 of the Wonder War, mind you. That Wonder Woman, that Diana, John, and Damian are all going to die. So my theory, and this has been my theory for a while, actually, is that and this is only if they want to do a soft reboot, which I would advise them to do, is Trinity has to stop this future from ever happening. So she goes back in time to before to one of two areas. To actually do the soft reboot, there's only one area. So to do the soft reboot, I think Trinity would go back in time to before Emily attacks that bar that led to this whole thing starting, and then she stops the whole thing from happening. And what that would kind of be, and essentially that retcons the entire storyline, makes it like a self-contained thing. And here's the other thing it does. It also serves to retcon Trinity out of existence, because if that doesn't, if Emily doesn't attack that bar, the Amazons aren't like targeted. If the Amazons aren't targeted, Steve Trevor's not killed. If Steve Trevor's not killed, Wonder Woman never makes Trinity. So I could see them going in that direction and doing it as more of a we're making this a self-contained story and just going with that. That would be honestly a great way to do it. And that way, what you do is, yeah, you end it, and then you can just like reboot it. That would be a very interesting way to do it. Do you think Wonder Woman should work with the JSA during World War II or Steve Trevor's team? I'm fine with the way they have it now, where Hippolyta is Wonder Woman during World War II, and then Diana takes over, because yes, that turns her into a legacy character, but it gets rid of Diana being immortal, because if DC's determined, when they are, to have Wonder Woman be to have Wonder Woman be on the Justice Society, or like a Wonder Woman on the Justice Society, this is the best option, I think. So I'm more in favor of that, honestly. But yeah. So NJ, to answer your question, that's my theory. Now, again, not guaranteed to happen. I want you guys to moderate your expectations. It's not guaranteed to happen. I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what they go with, if they want to do a reboot of Wonder Woman, a soft reboot, but still like say, oh, it still happened, but it's like it was time travel. And with that, you can bring back her mom. Not necessarily because that wasn't a result of the King actions, but I think at a certain point they will, because she's been a goddess for, in my mind, long enough. I wouldn't be surprised if they undo that, honestly. I have a small quarrel with DC. If they want Wendy to have a girlfriend, they should go for it, not go for any Amazon in the past. Or mind you, I love all her male love interests. Well, here's the thing. Here's what DC doesn't want you to know. Are you ready? You know why DC doesn't do that? Why DC doesn't commit? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. And this is from either conversations with people that used to be associated with DC, or like tweets by people currently at DC that would know. DC considers Wonder Woman to still be straight. When Rucka said that, notice how no one did, there was no like Wonder Woman post about like her being bi or anything like that. And you also notice, here's an interesting fact about that. So DC every year does the Pride comics, where they highlight all their LGBTQ characters. Notice who's never gotten a feature in that? Wonder Woman. You would think that if Wonder Woman were really bi, she would be they would show that, right? They would feature her. Isn't that interesting? And then you add on to the fact that you notice how, here's the other reason why they have to consider her straight. Because if they make her gay or bi or anything like that, they cannot sell her merch or movies stuff overseas. Doesn't Wonder Woman have a thing for Cheetah? No. That was just Rucka talking out of his ass. And what he said more likely was that Cheetah had a thing for Wonder Woman, even though she doesn't. But that's just in his mind. Wonder Woman has never had a romantic attachment to Cheetah, period. Anyone that tells you that doesn't know what they're talking about. Trevor Barnes is the best love interest in my opinion. Tom Tresser is also Tom Tresser is a bad one in my opinion because Wonder Woman was only with him to mate and spread Amazons, and Trevor Barnes was just a self-insert by Phil Jimenez in my opinion. Well, actually, not even in my opinion. It's by his own admission, as a matter of fact. But that's my opinion. My favorite love interest for Wonder Woman is Superman. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Steve Trevor sucks because the writers either use him as a self-insertion or like just like make him more important than he actually is. Because I'm sorry, Word Balloon. Steve Trevor doesn't matter to Wonder Woman. He is the biggest redundant character in right now in her lore. Like that's it. But I think I like about Barnes is that he falls in line with her activism side. Well, there are plenty of characters that fall in line with her activism that aren't like self-insertion. So there's a way to do it without doing it. In other words, they also won't make her say she's straight, show it or state it in an interview, but at the same time, they hint at her being bi with small crumbs here and there. No, that's just some writers doing it. DC editorial themselves ignore it. I'm of the opinion, and this is the truth. It doesn't matter what a single writer says. If the editorial doesn't support it, it's not true. Like that's the truth right there. It doesn't matter what writers say if editorial doesn't acknowledge it or do it. It doesn't matter. That's what I always say. Just market Nubia. Well, here's the thing about Nubia. Nubia is that version of Wonder Woman. That's why they push Nubia. You notice how Nubia is always in the clay or in the what's the word? In the Pride books. Always in there. And she actually has had featured books. But Diana hasn't. Isn't that interesting? No question at this time. Just wanted to say that Wonder Woman was the first DC super I got into because they had so many Wonder Woman books in my elementary school library. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love that. I love that. What are your favorite runs? Perez. I like some Rucka. I like some Damian and Diana are a good duo. Because here's the thing. I believe that Diana should, for the moment, because so many writers have tried to force Batman into everything Diana does, keep Batman stuff away from Diana. But in terms of my favorite runs, X-Men Superfan, it is George Perez is number 1. Absolute Wonder Woman is number 2. Rucka's number 3. Phil Jimenez is number 4, and John Byrne is number 5. Those are my ones. Also followed by Mesner Loebs. I liked Gail Simone's and the OG Greg Rucka. I think they're so good. OG Greg Rucka is actually pretty good. Gail Simone is okay, in my opinion. It's okay. It's not like horrible, but it's not one of my favorite runs, but it's one that's like, that I'm like, okay, I can kind of see where you're going for with this one. I'm fine with that. But yeah, it's that's like those are like my favorite runs. And yeah, there are a lot of great Wonder Woman runs, 100%. But yeah, so what other questions do you guys have related to Wonder Woman? That's what I'm here for. Any questions that you guys would like to hear about? Because by the way, my statements on like Wonder Woman's like sexuality is based on Jazia Axelrod's comments and like other DC characters' comments. Nubia is kind of woke for this purpose. Like we can't do with Diane. Yeah. And here's the thing. Nubia is a great character. I'm not saying Nubia is a bad character at all. Luckily with Nubia, they use a good character. That's the advantage that they have. And a character that the fan base likes. So that's why it's like, no, develop Nubia. Just develop Nubia as a character. And guess what? Like push Nubia and you can have that. You can definitely have that. I mean, she's a queen. She's the queen of all the Amazons right now. And in many ways, she has done some pretty dope stuff in the in the comics. But that's the point there. Would you prefer a new love interest created for her support? I would prefer her not have a love interest, as a matter of fact. She's not popular, though. Yes, she is. She is very popular, though. I got news for you. She is very popular. In terms of, she is very popular. She just doesn't get the push that she deserves. She is a popular character, NJ. In terms of this, how about Diana does not have a love interest, period? She doesn't need one, just like she doesn't need a kid. And here's the thing: just because Batman and Superman have something doesn't mean Diana needs it. Yeah, and she is very, even with the straight community, she is popular. Should Cassandra be on the Teen Titans or strictly work with Wonder Woman? You can have her on the Teen Titans, but I really prefer in a lot of ways like her to have like her to have like some connection to Wonder Woman. Like, let me put it this way: you could do it without forgetting like the direction that what the like that not Nubia, Cassie is a Wonder Woman character. Okay, fine. But it's like, if you're gonna forget it, I'm sorry, that's a problem. But yeah, so what other questions do you guys have? What other Wonder Woman questions do you guys have about anything Wonder Woman related? Having a fun stream right now. Some people are shipping Absolute Wonder Woman with Absolute Zatanna. I thought it was a cute idea, not executable though. Here's the thing: Wonder Woman. Some Wonder Woman fans talk more about who Wonder Woman sleeps with than actually giving her Wonder Woman stories, because that's what they really care about. There is a group of Wonder Woman fans that all they care about is Diana's love interest and shipping her with random characters. Never mind if those characters would actually cause damage to the character. They don't care. What Greek villains would you like to see? Minotaur could work. You could also do Medusa. And they've done this before and stuff. That's another reason why I really like Wonder Woman, the Eye of the Gorgon, because that's what it like. That's what one of the things it does really well. It's like it uses a lot of Greek mythology rogues as that. Would you like to see Ferdinand in the movie? Yeah, because since with the DCU, they're fully embracing the comic booky nature of this stuff. It would make sense that they do if they like really and go all in on that. Would you like to see Nubia in Paradise Lost or in the 1D film? Honestly, Nubia could work really well in the Paradise Lost show because of how it's dealing so closely with like Amazonian lore and such. That would honestly be a fantastic idea. To highlight Nubia. Because here's the thing: if you highlight Nubia like really well, guess what? She all of a sudden becomes like a big character, and then you can roll with that. Do you think Hippolyta and Philippus' complex relationship will be explored? Possibly. I would say there's a good chance of it being explored in Paradise Lost. By the way, here's a gay Wonder Woman, Hippolyta. She is firmly established as bisexual at the very least. Should Diana wear a disguise or no disguise? No disguise, because her having a secret identity kind of goes against her whole devotion to truth. I would rather her be like the ambassador and like just like be like and just roll as the ambassador of Themyscira to man's world. But so let's see. Would you prefer Clay origin or Zeus? Clay origin at this point. They did the Zeus origin in the DCEU, and I'm like, I think now is a time for the Clay origin to get this thing again, especially since you are doing the origin of Wonder Woman that is like heavily comic booky. If you're in a universe that is embracing the whimsical comic booky nature, just go on all in with the Clay origin. That works best. But you take inspiration from Historia. That's what they're doing because Historia was listed as one of the inspirational books for the run. And I like that because that is like one of the best origins for the Amazons ever. I have the Absolute Edition pre-ordered. I cannot wait for that. But there's like a lot of really fun stuff coming out in terms of DC lore, because yeah, that is like the ideal thing ever. Are the Amazonian women lesbians? They hate men. I mean, they hate men. So okay, so here's the thing that you guys should know. Not just because they're on Themyscira and they're only around women doesn't mean they only like women. That's the first one. You can't tell me there will be one straight or asexual Amazon. Number one. Number two, the mythologically accurate Amazons were straight mostly. Yeah, they weren't gay. Anyone that tells you that is wrong. Now, the Amazons are distrustful of men. The Bana, arguably, the Bana Migdal, the breakoff of the tribe started by Antiope in the comics, they are the more radical sect of Amazons, like the group that Artemis comes from. Granted, Artemis may buck the trend a little bit, but the Bana are very much the more of the man-hating Amazons of the two groups. I mean the fist and lasso camp. Sword or raw fist. It depends on the threat. If she's fighting, like, let's say Doomsday, go with the sword and the shield. But if she's just fighting, like, let's say Cheetah or anything like that, you don't really need the sword and the shield for that, in my opinion. Does the lasso of truth work if you only tell the truth? Well, the lasso of truth just makes you tell the truth. So I would say yes. I would say yes. So I would agree with that. So let's see. What other questions do you guys have? I am of the opinion that if Superman can do fist, then Diana... No, she can. I'm not saying she can't, but I'm saying if there's a threat that warrants it, she can do the sword and the shield because she's a warrior as well. You can't ignore that. Where is Cassie Sandsmark like during Justice League Future lineup? Should she stay as Wonder Girl forever since Yara has the Wonder Woman name? No, I first off, I think that DC should stop adding Wonder Girls, and this includes Yara and Trinity. I think they have it's fine the way it is, but I really feel like at this point, like, I think that if Donna's not going to be Wonder Woman, it should be Cassie. That's my opinion. Prediction: Hippolyta will be back mid-2026. I don't think mid, because again, it's based on Tom King's leaving the book, in my opinion. So I would say early to mid 2027 is where I would say maybe she'll be back. Or if they don't bring her back, if they decide to keep it, here's what you can really do. Just like have a writer actually do something and have Hippolyta interact with Diana. You don't have to take away the god portion of Hippolyta for that to happen. Curly, wavy hair or straight hair. I'm not as devoted to like that. I'm more of opinion if the actress can do it. I don't care about the hair thing. I'm fine either way. What is the actual height of an Amazon? Much taller than an average woman, I'll tell you that much. I don't necessarily know that. Nubia has a lot of potential. What would you do with her if you could write her? I would, first off, making her the queen of the Amazons is a great idea. I would give her a solo series again and have her do more, like, fight more Greek gods and myths and stuff while Diana handles, like, the man's world threats. For right now, that's the way you can do. You need to figure out some way to separate her from Diana to not being confused with Diana. Because what you do with that is you make it, you want to firmly establish in people's mind that she's not just a ripoff of Diana. So you want to do that. Should Wonder Woman have the invisible jet or just use her flight? Both. You can have both. Invisible jet can be for cargo or like passengers, and this flying can be a primary thing. I always felt Donna should go by Troya. Yeah, that works. I'm just saying if Donna does not go the Wonder Woman route, give it to Cassie. Is Wonder Woman and Aquaman cousins since Atlanteans descended from Poseidon or something like that? Nope. In the lore, that's not a thing. In fact, in the lore, the Amazon, in the DC Comics lore, the Amazons are not the daughters of Ares or anything like that. It's not a thing. Do you hate the matriarch? I do. Here's my opinion of the matriarch, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is a perfect clip to show you. Hang on. I accidentally closed the clip. So let me do that. And
hereby complete the mission of the Amazons by ridding this world of you forever.
Yeah, I think Matriarch is a dumb idea. And King trying to say, "Oh, she was the main villain all along." Sure she was, bro. Sure she was. And then it's like, and then you also add on that he's like, "Oh, I always intended for this." Sure you did. You're just changing your mind because no one likes Sovereign, so you can't take that no one likes your story. Cause in the Justice League movie, Batman asks Aquaman why he doesn't flirt with Diana. Which Justice League? No. Justice League is not an indicator of how these characters should act. Justice League is the biggest assassination on these characters since the DCAU. Yeah, Joss Whedon's Justice League, and I have to play the clip.
Why did you say that name?
The worst, and he never, first off, he never even said that in the movie. So it's like, I don't know where you're getting that from. Her being a goddess is useless, and DC themselves are not interested in that, which shows. Yeah, I mean, I would say at this point, if you're not going to do anything with it, just undo it. I still say it's going to be early to mid 2027 when they actually do it. That's my opinion. Would you prefer a physically imposing Wonder Woman or more modeled? I'm not the type of fan that's obsessed with like body type or something like that, because I'm like, no. The only preference that I would have, can you make her a little darker skin, because Wonder Woman is coming from roughly the Mediterranean area, and I prefer for her to have some melanin. That didn't happen in any live action Justice League movie, just so you know. Because I've seen both. Did you read the Joss Whedon had for Wendy? It was oh god. Oh, but so it's basically a Tom King Wonder Woman movie. Oh my god, that is the biggest insult. You know what? I should do that for a stream where like I read that script, and you know what? That may be next week's Amazon Answers, where I read that script and then just rant about it. That would be really fun. Thank God that He Who Must Not Be Named But Ruin Justice League is not allowed to touch DC characters anymore. Should Wonder Woman interact with Batman and Superman first? Superman. Keep her away from Batman, because when you actually understand the history of Wonder Woman, she and Batman don't have that close of a relationship. Like, writers trying to force like a friendship between the two are forgetting that they're not best friends. That friendship is with Superman and Wonder Woman, but I got news for you. She is not Superman's best friend, like, at all. That's not a thing. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but that's the way this works, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way this works. Do Amazons age slower than humans? Because how is she still? She is immortal. Diana herself is immortal, and I'm fine with that. It's just I would prefer to her to be regular 24, like however age, when she arrives in man's world. What would be your DCU Justice League lineup? Actually, you know what? There's a picture of what my ideal Justice League lineup is. I'm going to show you it, because this is, in my mind, a pretty balanced Justice League lineup. There's a splash page in a Justice League run that features all the characters, and I think that this would be the best, because I agree that there should be like a different lineup than the one used in the DCEU. Now, I have no issue with that lineup. It's just that for some different, to make it different. But but you still want it to be mostly the characters that people will come see. So here is, let me pull this up. I'm trying to find the right run on the DC app. Here we go. So I'm just trying to go to the very beginning of the run, because it was near the beginning when this showed up. So should be here. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Is this it? Let me see. Because there's a very specific lineup that I always felt was the most balanced. Because the other thing that people complain about with Justice League runs is that it's too like male dominated. And I do agree to a certain point, but there's like another way to do it. There's a lineup that is like extremely balanced and well done. That is a post-crisis Justice League lineup that I always felt was like the one that they should do for movies. Hang on. keep going. By X-Men Super Fan says, and I read the Tom King crossover with Batman. I rolled my eyes so much. The praising Batman was ridiculous. Yeah. Did Shazam ever date Wonder Woman, or was it non-canon? It's never happened. That's not a thing. Hey, what's up, Tevye? How you doing, my brother? Yeah, Wonder Woman has never dated Shazam. That's not a thing. Anyone that tells you that is lying. My day is going very well, Tevye. Thank you for asking. How is your day going? Okay, I'm trying to get. I'm going issue by issue. That's why it's taken me for a while, everyone. I see the variant of Superman 34 showed Superboy Prime in a corner as small. It was Diana, Nubia, and a few Amazons. I hope Williamson stays far away from Williamson. Can write the Amazons really well. I'm not like against that. Okay, so let's go to here. Oh, here we go. This should be the lineup. Hang on. Should Wonder Woman know Grail is the daughter of Darkseid before the Justice League team up movie or after? I'm fine with her knowing it as soon as possible. I'm not against that. Here's the lineup. This is my ideal Justice League lineup. The Mouseman arc was stupid. Yes. All right. So here, why are some fans obsessed with who Diana sleeps with? Because those fans literally they just live vicariously through Wonder Woman. That's why. Same reason why that there are people, and Britt will tell you this, that don't have actual relationships because they essentially live out their fantasies through Superman and Wonder Woman. Well, if Shazam has the power of Zeus, that doesn't mean no, because Wonder Woman is not the power of Zeus. Also, how does Wonder Woman have Zeus? Because Wonder Woman is Zeus's daughter in the DCEU. That's why. And they're not related. Again, it's like even Shazam said, here's my ideal Justice League lineup for the DCU. It is Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Black Canary, Hawkgirl, Black Lightning, Roy Harper, Vixen, and Red Tornado. And then they add other characters like Geoforce and such later on. But this is the one that I feel like, first off, Diana's not the only woman. It's actually fairly even. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still lopsided, but it's significantly less lopsided than Wonder Woman being the only one. They took the new fit. Yeah, they definitely took that. That's a great. Yeah, I know. This is the peak lineup. Is Wonder Woman's daughter from Batman Dark Knight Strikes Batman the Dark Knight Strikes Back canon in that universe? Yes, not in the actual comics canon. Zatanna for Roy any day, bro. That's non-negotiable. I think Zatanna does join this league as well, so it's not like that Zatanna does not join. Surprised to see no Flash. No, I think I want to say Wally does join up later, but this is the group that took the picture. But yeah, it's like this is the base lineup. You can swap out characters as you go. That's totally fine. But I'm just saying, use this as a model. Because if you look at it, it's balanced in terms of gender. You have amazing characters. Also, Black Canary was the chairman of the league, so she was the leader. You can even have Wonder Woman be the leader. Although, in the DCU, it's most likely they'll just have Superman be the chairman, which I'm like, okay. But as far as like a variety of characters, this I think is like one of the best. Does Wonder Woman have magic? Absolute does. And Wonder Woman does deal with magic, hence why she was on the Justice League Dark in the Rebirth era, which I have that omnibus. I still have to read it. But yeah, this in my mind is the best Justice League lineup for this. Maybe it was after Infinite Crisis. Wait, wasn't Wally West on that team? I think it was the Lightning Saga. Yeah, because this is the one after the 1 year later when the Justice League come back together, when the Trinity come back together, and they create like their own Justice League. Wonder Woman should be the chairman of the league. I agree 100%. Well, I think Wonder Woman is the one best suited to be the chairman, and they've done it before. Like there is a book. Hang on, I'll get it. There is a post-crisis book called Wonder Woman and the Justice League. It's a post-crisis book that's taking place during the time when the league is made up of D-listers like Booster Gold, Fire, Ice, the Ray, Guy Gardner, and like Maxima, and she was the leader of the Justice League. And she even went through some character development, figuring out how to be a good leader. So you had some really good stuff with that. I think Batman should be the tactician. Superman's the field leader. Wonder Woman's the tank. Well, let's talk about that. Wonder Woman is like has the wisdom of Athena, so she could be the tactician. She could also be the field leader, and she's super strong, so she could be the tank. So really, when you think about it, it's like in terms of that. Now, I feel like Wonder Woman being a political figure and joining the Justice League is like Bucky running for Senate and joining the Thunderbolts. No, it's not, because Diana, as the ambassador of the Amazons to man's world, it helps relations between the Amazons and man's world if she is seen like saving people and working alongside the Justice League. Plus, again, if the league is made up of like all of the representatives from like these different cultures, like, you know, Aquaman's going to serve on this, it makes sense that she would be on. Is Wonder Woman canonically stronger than Superman or no? Yeah, she is. Wonder Woman, when you really look at her feats, Wonder Woman is the strongest member of the DC like hero roster, bar none. Actually, funny enough, we did get Wonder Woman as ambassador of peace in the comics. It was fun. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, JH.WH with God. Yeah, she is the strongest DC character like ever. She when you think about it, you know, I know that she has taken out the entire Justice League literally blindfolded. I kid you not, literally blindfolded, because she was like blinded by Medusa, so she was forced to actually like do that. She was forced to actually like she was forced to actually like fight, obviously blindfolded, and well, actually just blind. Her reflexes are unmatched. Yeah, he is strong in terms of raw power, debatable, but she is trained and she could beat him in a fight, and she has many times. Arguably, again, I disagree that Superman is stronger in terms of power. In terms of power variety, sure, but power variety isn't everything. Speaking of Grail, reminds me, when DC, did you do a free roam as Wonder Woman fighting Grail? Oh, yes, of course I did. I even played as Grail. Grail is awesome. Batman admits she is the best melee fighter in the Justice League. Yep. They should bring back her God mode ASAP. Yep. And they could still do it without restoring the the Zeus origin, honestly. A hot take. Wonder Woman should have run for president after single-handedly stopping World War II. But she didn't single-handedly stop World War II. She didn't. That's not necessarily correct. So why? Why? The reason why they didn't do that is because they felt at the time that would be disrespectful to the soldiers fighting in the trenches if they have the superheroes just end the war. But yeah, let me get more questions, ladies and gents. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. What other questions do you guys have concerning Wonder Woman, her lore, or anything that you guys would like to like clarification on? That's why the stream exists. Wonder Woman was based off of that. Based off of what, by the way? So you are okay with Super Wonder? Yep. More than okay about that. I just realized he had a conversation between Diana and Brusco when Diana has a public identity, like how she teaches at Vanessa's college. Yeah. You would have a conversation. Yeah, that'd be fun. What's your ideal Legion of Doom roster? Luthor, Joker, Cheetah, or Cersei, either of those. Reverse Flash. Maybe Metallo and Vandal Savage. That's where I would go. One was based off the Authority's crazy affair with Dominatrix. Fun fact, that's not a thing. I actually talked to some people that know the Marstons, and they said that whole bondage thing, that's not actually what happened. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? So the bondage thing actually is not part of Wonder Woman's like lore, as a matter of fact, when you really look at it. Speaking of Wonder Woman's lore, that reminds me, I'm curious, how long has Hippolyta's mother been a god? Since since Clunrad with Trial of the Amazons, I believe. So that was immediately before King's Run. What female superheroes would you like to see her deepen a friendship or romance? Would you like to see her deepen a? I don't want Diana to have a love interest really, so I'm gonna ignore the romance part. But in terms of friendship, Mira, Supergirl, Zatanna, Dinah, anything like that. In Justice League roster, same as my Legion of Doom, because Legion of Doom is the same thing, Tavia. Her super speed is underrated. I don't know, man. I mean, minus few writers. Most writers at DC don't even know how. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's the strongest and fastest character on the Justice League, bar none. I will make that argument 100%. Do you think Priscilla, Richard, Barbara, and Minerva can coexist in the comics? I think they could. There's no reason why they couldn't. But again, stop trying. I wish DC would stop trying to make these characters like redeemable. Let's have actual villains instead of just like, okay, no, let's no one's all bad. I'm like, yeah, these characters can be all bad. Okay, this is off, but is Hawkman actually the Egyptian god Horus? No. According to the lore, he's not that because he is the reincarnation of Prince Khufu from that's like a Egyptian prince, but he's not like Horus in any way. What do you think of Giganta? I like Giganta. I think she's a really interesting character. I like how she has a mutual like respect with Diana, and that she's the one that like Diana goes to for like advice sometimes, like particularly when you look at like the Gail Simone run, when Diana broke up with Tom Tresser and stuff. So I really like that. I think Giganta should have married Flash. Okay, why? Again, don't go off of the DCAU because that's in no way. It's never been canon. And here's the thing: the DCAU is not what you want to actually be actual canon. Trust me. So a lot of the creative decisions. You're dealing with a group of creatives that thought that Harley Quinn was a more interesting character than Wonder Woman, or that was a more inspirational character for girls than Wonder Woman. I wish the villains would stay villains. Yeah, exactly. You don't need to constantly redeem villains. Like, stop it. By all of the now she can control her cheatiness because of Greg Rucka. No, she could do that beforehand. He just ignored it. And that'll get undone by another writer relatively soon, I think. Giganta and Wally were also both redheads. Okay, so anti-hero bar Minerva is best, and it's clear Diana vouched for her BFF. I don't know. I don't know, but either on that, again, she's still a villain. She's still listed as a villain. In my mind, it's based off of desperation because who knows how the DC KO event ends, but it looks like it's desperation. So like, we can't afford to be picky. So take anyone that shows up. What do you think of Red Hood's iconic helmet mask thingy? I'm fine with him having both. There's no reason why he can't have both. And yeah, please keep questions focused on Wonder Woman, though, guys, because I have saved the general DC questions for Comics League Dark. I don't see Gigantic White Flash. Yeah, exactly. I don't either. Is the Sovereign immortal? I have no idea, nor do I care, because the Sovereign's a horrible character. Honestly, I don't think he is. I feel like it's more of it was passed down from generation to generation or something like that. That's what I kind of think. Would you prefer Eris or Cersei for adaptations? Cersei. I like Cersei more. And I mean, you could have both also, but of the two, I kind of prefer Cersei as character. So hear me out. The Sovereign is a descendant of Vandal Savage, or the Sovereign is Vandal Savage in disguise, so he's not an original character. Did Marvel and DC ever get into copyright issues over Wonder Man and Wonder Woman? No, because it's enough. It's enough different. Also, why DC didn't make another Wonder Woman movie right now? Because DC does not prioritize Wonder Woman. They prioritize other characters. Speaking of Wonder Woman, that reminds me, Sam is now in jail. Do you think otherwise we'll use him again or ignore him? Ignore him. They'll ignore him. I guarantee it. I wonder if we'll get like a writer say, just like BMB's Rogolzar, where like the next writer, where like future writers will say that the Sovereign falsely claimed to be a like King of America or something like that. Like they'll completely pants it as they deserve because the Sovereign's a crappy character. Who is the most charismatic 1D villain? Charismatic. I would say Dr. Psycho. Yeah, Dr. Psycho is one. He's also a walking Me Too thing, but I feel like he's the one that has the most like hilarious like moments. Giganta needs way more respect. We need her to have more team adventure with Diana. Yeah, I think that'll be really fun. You definitely need more of like the respect that they have, the mutual respect. You don't even have to have her be like a hero or a villain. You could just have it where she is like, where they're working together and stuff for like a story, and then you could like explore that, but they're still like enemies. But it's like they still have like that mutual respect and stuff. Does Wonder Woman worship the goddess Artemis? Wait. Does Wonder Woman worship the goddess Artemis since the Amazons are believed to have her as a patron? I believe so, yes. Who is the most psychotic Wonder Woman villain in a rogues gallery? Probably Grail, if I had to say so. It'd be Grail. Yeah, I would probably say Grail is the most psychotic because Daughter of Darkseid and stuff. What other questions do you guys have? Any questions about Wonder Woman that you guys would like to ask about? What do you think of Jeff Loeb's? Yeah, that one. First off, it's Black Label, so I'm like, okay, that's better. Is Wonder Woman part demigod? No, because she's not the daughter of Zeus anymore. That's according to DC canon. Okay, so as far as that, I get why they're doing it. I wish it was Wonder Woman teaming up with a different character other than Batman. But it's also, I think it's because Jeff Loeb wants to write another Batman story because Hush was a flop. So he wants to kind of redeem himself. But it's like, I wonder why team up with Wonder Woman for Batman. I really wish that we could get stories without one. I feel like, yeah, actually, here's the thing. It's interesting about that because I think DC is trying to force Wonder Woman and Batman to have a friendship that they've never really had, because they don't. They do not have a close friendship relationship that like Superman has. People think they do because of that DCAU, but again, the DCAU is not actual DC canon. What do you think of Sigurd? I kind of like them. As a character, he's fine. As a love interest, no. Again, I don't think Diana needs a love interest. I would rather her or like not have a love interest, but just do like, explore like stories like that. I can already tell Dr. Psycho is going to get more backlash when they bring him to DC because he's a misogynist. Well, as long as they paint him as the villain and not as a bad guy and not as a good guy, that would be the way to do it. And I feel like they definitely will paint him more as like a villain. Giganta doesn't really hate her, just becomes an annoyance when Diana stops her crime. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, I'm like, that's why you can do that mutual respect more with Giganta. Ain't no way Batman and Wonder Woman have a love it. What do you mean by that? Because Batman and Wonder Woman are not love interest, period. And Wonder Woman does not need a love interest. Batman, you could just give him Catwoman and you're done. That's in my opinion what I think. I just realized that if Cassie's a detective, imagine her and Diana working the murder cases of normal humans. Well, yeah, imagine if instead of Batman, King actually brought in Cassie Sandsmark to solve the murder of like Ares on Olympus. Imagine that. Let's be real. Dr. Psycho or as a villain and anti-hero. Yeah, exactly. I meant it as a character in its own right than as a love interest. Yeah, exactly. It's as a character in its own right, he's fine. I like him as a character. Yeah, I'm confused about that. I'm just saying, do you think Giganta should be on the Legion of Doom roster, like in the DCAU? Sure, they can do that. What origin of Giganta do you like? Keep it not as the ape woman. I'm fine with her with them not doing the ape woman thing. Is Hercules the brother? Okay. I'm gonna answer this. Okay, if Diana is not the daughter of Zeus, which she isn't in the canon now, That means she is not the brother. She's not the brother or sibling of any of the Greek heroes. I'm just putting a kibosh on that. That's not the way that the current canon is. Cassie Sandsberg, Wonder Girl, he's had to with Wonder Woman something more. Yeah, that would actually work. That would actually work. It was used in Trial of the Amazons, though, because she's the one that solved that Artemis is the one that killed Hippolyta. What do you mean it wasn't used in Trial of the Amazons? Should Jason be in the DCU? Again, if they do the Clay origin, no. So I'm just going to tell you that. If they use the Clay origin, they really shouldn't. Do you think Loeb would nerf Diana in the Batman verse arc, especially for an overrated clown and his girlfriend Harley? I have a bad feeling, my man. I hope it's not the case. We'll see about that. I want to see the circumstances to how Joker stole the lasso of truth. That's what I want to see. I need to see the circumstances, because if it's something like in battle, it like maybe was knocked out of her hand, the Joker grabbed it, that's one thing. Then like maybe Diana was asleep and they stole it. I must have forgotten. That's my mistake. It's been a while. Yeah, it's all good, dude. It's all good, dude. Just saying that. But yeah, so we'll see with that Loeb storyline. That's one where I'm like, I really have to see it, because if it's good, okay, fine, I'll tell you it's good. But if it's bad, yeah, then we're in trouble there. I just wish DC would give Diana crossovers with characters other than Batman. Like, stop giving Bat crossovers. They're not working. What other questions do you guys have? Exactly how old is Wonder Woman canonically? If she's not immortal, she would be like, I believe like 23 is when she shows up in Mansfield, so she'd be like early 30s now. What crossover would you like to see with Wonder Woman? I would have to say probably a Wonder Woman and Mira would be very nice. But in terms of like an actual story, Wonder Woman Red Sonja would be dope as hell. I'm fine with that. Question. Speaking of Wonder Woman, by me for a while is that writers keep having your lasso of truth keep getting stolen because it's, I don't know why that keeps happening, but it's like, yeah, I agree with you. It really needs to stop, because it's the same thing over and over again. And it's like, it's honestly, it's getting a little old. Do you think like having Wonder Woman's villains be friends with her before they turn like, no, they don't. The whole friends to enemies trope also is overused. I would just say, no, you can have them just be villains. That's totally fine. Wonder Woman or Black Canary is, oh yeah, 100%. I'm fine with that as well. Yeah, stop with the bad stories. Exactly. Is it is still canon that Cheetah's powers come from the Jaguar God, or no? That's still canon. That is still canon. That was established in I wonder if is that in New History. Yeah, I have the New History trade up, so I'm gonna check that out, because they talk about Wonder Woman's robes in that. New Cheetah. I don't know if they actually do that, but it's I believe that is the thing. Speaking of Wonder Woman, that reminds me, have you read the latest issue of Absolute Wonder Woman? Yes, it was very good and very enjoyable. I liked it a lot. You'll be able to see the review on Super Wonder Legacy tomorrow. What books or films do you think 1D would enjoy? I would say, if I have to say what books or films that one would enjoy, Conan for one. I would say a lot of sword and sorcery, probably Lord of the Rings. In terms of books, also Lord of the Rings. I would say probably also Chronicles of Narnia. I think she would enjoy Clash of the Titans. I think she would enjoy. Well, what do you think DC could do to give Steve Trevor more substance, not just a side character? Maybe giving him a villain or a rival. The thing is, you can't do that with Steve Trevor, because he is irrelevant no matter how you do it. Because honestly, nowadays he doesn't fit in Wonder Woman's lore. He just doesn't. Was Diana canonically a founding member of the Justice Society during World War II? Yes, but now it's Hippolyta in the lore. So that's that. Any music or anime do you think one would enjoy? Anime? I don't know enough about music or anime to answer that question, Tavia. What storyline would allow Diana to not hold back? Oh, probably you could do Superman Doomed if she shows up in Superman Doomed. But in terms of straight up Wonder Woman stories, any absolute storylines or like any story where she fights like devastation or genocide or like even fighting Medusa. Why haven't we gotten a Wonder Woman animated series? Because DC likes to like because DC likes to. So here's the thing about that. Because of the Marston contract, they get approval on anything not comics related with Wonder Woman. So that's the first part. So what you have with that is that there have been a lot of crappy pitches that have gone through about Wonder Woman. So that's why it's like, guys, don't crap on the Marston contract because it has stopped a lot of really bad storylines from happening. Barbara, as of now, is full control of the African god. That'll last. That'll last. And by I'm being sarcastic, that'll definitely not last. Does Wonder Woman have a no-kill rule? Nope. Arguably, none of the Trinity do. That's a false conception perpetrated by some DC Comics writers. They don't have a no-kill rule. They have a no-murder rule. What gods has Wonder Woman not fought yet? She's fought Norse. I would say African, maybe Incan gods, a few other gods. All right, any Wonder Woman? I'm not okay. Continuing on. Steve Trevor's ultimate nemesis, hydraulic press man. And by the way, I don't think Wonder Woman would play video games. Hydraulic press man. Yes, exactly. Because he's a sack of potatoes who can't stand up about this. Gail says, no, yeah. What that says is killing is still an option. But so my opinion, and this is Wonder Woman, but it also applies to like the other characters. They won't go out and kill people. They will like exhaust all options first. And then if they have tried everything else, then they will do the kill rule. Like killing is never completely off the table for like these DC heroes. It's just never the very first option. Do you think that James Gunn will actually bring Wonder Woman to the forefront? Nope. I think he's going to focus on the characters that he wants to focus on, which would be like any of the C or D list characters. That's who I think he's going to focus on. Diana versus Jesus. Not touching that one. I hope it does last for a good amount of time. Probably won't, but there you go. Well, James Gunn said that Wonder Woman will be really tall. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. No. He didn't say that at all. What he said was height is not really important to me. Because people were asking if Wonder Woman is going to be very tall, and he said, I don't know why that's a determination. Because if we did that, it would be like a hard to cast her. So she hasn't said that. Let's see. So basically, Booster Gold, yeah. Watch Gunn replace one with Chucky with the Chucky baby in the DCU. Oh, if he does that, because here's the thing, he is starting to wear down people on how most of the DCU is based on Tom King, and I get that he likes Tom King. That Tom King is like his favorite writer for some reason. But it's like, I got news for you. You can't have, in a universe where you marketed it as other creatives would get to have their like story, you can't base it purely on Tom King. You can't like say, you can't like only do Tom King storylines. I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. Any Wonder Woman fan casting you would want to see? There's no Wonder Woman fan castings that I've seen that I think really works. Honestly, if I have to go with a fan casting, hang on. This is my fan casting, and I think it's the best. Hang on. Her. What are Wonder Woman's weaknesses? I mean, they change so often that it's really tough to say. There are some of them that's like if she's bound, she loses her powers, or like sometimes she's not even bulletproof. So we have Melizanthe Mahout. So she plays Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and she's number one, she's Greek, and number two, it's like she's voiced a Wonder Woman like character in the past. So I definitely think that she could do it. Plus, she could do the Greek accent stuff. She should at least be 6'9". She's basically the same size as Batman. Again, height is not important to me in terms of like in terms of the character. I'm not, because if we're focusing too much on those, in my mind, secondary characteristics, we're not focusing on casting a good actress. Party Girl Diana is the best Diana, in my opinion. Diana doesn't give a crap. I'm fine with Diana doesn't give a crap, but I don't like Party Girl Diana. Why can't they get an actual Greek actor to play Wonder Woman? I don't know. I really don't know, because too many people are fans of the DCAU and want it to be like that, I guess. Because too many people want the DCU to just be a live-action DCAU, and I'm like, no, that's a stupid idea. Let it be unique. Gunn likes Tom King because he's like the mid girl who hangs out with the absolute uggo so she can look better. That's a good one, Dave. I love that. I love that. Personally, for me, it's more with the acting. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be the acting more. If the actress can do it, okay, fine. But if the actress can't do it, but she like fulfills like what some people think should be like her, no, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. But what other questions do you guys have for me about Wonder Woman? You guys can ask me any questions you would like to know the answers to. Any questions that you guys would like about, make sure they're Wonder Woman related. Want to be clear on that. Make sure it's Wonder Woman related. Does Wonder Woman know about the presence? Yes, she does. She does know about the presence because she's met the presence. A lot of the DC characters have met the presence in DC lore. Wait, should Artemis have a Red Hood and Outlaw storyline in the DCU? They could, but I would prefer right now to have the Amazons be separate from the Bat family. In my mind, don't involve the Bat family in anything Wonder Woman. That's my opinion. Like, I'm sorry, crossovers are fine, but it's getting a little ridiculous at this point. Speaking of Wonder Woman or supporting cast, we've seen her supporting cast in other media. Wait, why haven't we seen her supporting cast in other media? We have in certain like cameo roles, but I guess it could be because of the Marston con, or like maybe people just want to use Wonder Woman herself instead of like Cassie and Donna and Yara and stuff, and Yara and stuff. Let's see. What is your Wonder Woman hot take? That she doesn't need a love interest. Stop giving her a love interest. And that Steve Trevor is the worst, is the biggest dead weight of one in the Wonder Woman book right now. Let's hope King leaves the run ASAP so a new writer who gives a damn about the character can come back. Yeah, exactly. I feel like, again, my prediction is earliest 39, latest 40. I say latest at 40 because it could be that like he ends it at 39 and then they say, hey, do one more issue to like wrap up everything. And then like so the next writer can start on 41. That's what that's the minimum I could see them doing. Another possibility is that he lasts until issue 50 so they can start the new writer in the 50s, but I don't see it lasting that long. Let me put it this way. He ain't getting 100 issues no matter what happens right now. I would be very surprised if they gave him 100 issues. There's no way. Even he says he doesn't want to do it. Here's up, RJ. Let's see. Should they make a live action of the Absolute series? That would be awesome. That would be amazing. Don't you think Wonder Woman and Superman would need each other since they're both outsiders? Yes. Yes, exactly. That's part of why they work so well together as a couple. And that's like, if you read Justice League 12 from the new 52, and then he says, I don't like Superbad. I don't like Superbad either. So you're totally fine. Oh, I don't like Wonderbad. Me neither. In fact, I'm going to give you guys a little word from Batman himself.
Batman doesn't do ships.
Superbad is okay. If people want to ship, that's fine. I don't like Superbad either because I'm like, stop shipping Batman with literally everyone. It's getting annoying. But yeah, let's see. 40, yeah, 40 would be the 40 currently. The way I see it is like the latest that I think he gets on. At the very least, the Absolute line should get an animated series. Oh yeah, can you imagine anime, like a Netflix anime style of Absolute Wonder Woman? That would be dope. But yeah, as far as like issue numbers, I would say currently the way it looks, it's 40. That could change as like the Wonder War arc goes on. It could be earlier, it could be later. But I currently I still think that it's going to be 40 in my opinion. Do you have mixed feelings about Justice League animated Wonder Woman? Oh, I do not like that Wonder Woman at all. I've said it before. I think that's one of the worst animated Wonder Woman versions ever done in DC. Yes, I will die on that hill. She is the worst. I don't get yeah, it's just Superman Wonderbat doesn't work. I think it's ironic that Wonder and Batman both get along with Zatanna and not Superman. Fun fact: one of Superman's only weakness is magic. Yeah, I know that's interesting. Yeah, so let's get a couple of final questions and then we'll log off for the night. And then again, tomorrow, Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I reboot Batman. And then for Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm either going to do talking about Diana's actual relationship with Cheetah, or I'm going to do one talking about Wonder Woman versus Conan. How do the other gods exist if new gods were created from the remnants of the old gods' war? That's a different thing. They're different gods. It's established in the John Byrne run at least that they are different gods. It wasn't like Ragnarok happened and then all the old gods went away. Would you like to read a Wonder Woman Red Sonja crossover? Yes, very much so. That's like one of the best crossovers ever, and I'm glad we're finally getting it in the thing. I definitely like that a lot. I definitely think that that's going to be a fun little side story crossover in the upcoming story. All right. But I think that's a good place to leave it. As far as topics next week, I'm going to do the poll and then you guys can vote on what you want the next topic to be. So let me do that. Hang on. All right. Next week's topic. I would say I got it. Let's discuss an option is Wonder Woman's does Wonder Woman know Thor like from Marvel? No, but she knows the mythology Thor because she has interacted with him. So the first option is Wonder Woman's love interest. We'll do a breakdown of all of Wonder Woman's love interests. Let's see. Next Sunday. We could do one on. Let's do this. Ranking Wonder Woman's costumes. Ranking Wonder Woman costumes. Then we can do. Let's see. We could do. We could actually do a discussion of Golden Age Wonder Woman. Or we can do Wonder Woman crossovers in terms of like what Wonder Woman DC crossovers that you guys would like to see. All right, so let's do this. All right, so here are the 4 options. We have got, hide current comments. So we have got, and by head over to the YouTube poll to vote on that. So we have got, hang on, let me bring this up. Okay, so we have got Wonder Woman's love interest. So I would outline like Wonder Woman's love interest and talk about like, and basically rank them. We have ranking Wonder Woman's costumes and her looks. We have Golden Age Wonder Woman. So I review Wonder Woman's like Golden Age run. And then we could do which DC crossovers, which you guys like to see. Like what characters do you think Wonder Woman, what DC characters could we get fun crossovers for? And so far, Wonder Woman DC crossovers is winning commandingly. Wow, you guys really want that. So it's 6 people. There are 12 people watching on YouTube, so go ahead and vote for that if you guys can. And then I'll leave that up for a little bit while I get caught up on some more questions. What other heroic characters from myth like Sigurd should Wonder Woman meet? Perseus would be kind of fun. I would like that. Let's see. How about Odysseus? That would be fun, like time travel and stuff. They should do a time travel story where Wonder Woman goes back to like Greek mythology. That'd be fun. He-Man and Hawkman and Wonder Woman sounds fun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He-Man and they did cross over in the Justice League He-Man crossover and the Masters of the Universe Injustice crossover. That was fun. But let's see what other. So far it looks like it's going to be just it's going to be Wonder Woman DC crossovers. But yeah, any other like people that would like to vote? The voting is in the chat. So just go ahead and do that. Oh, Wonder Woman meeting RC from Transformers would be fun. I would keep Wonder Woman away from Transformers, but I see what you're saying there. That would be interesting. Have you read the DC versus Marvel comic? Yes, I have. I have the omnibus for that has like Storm versus Wonder Woman and stuff. So I have read that and I enjoy it. It's really fun. We should also eventually do a stream about the amalgam Wonder Woman. That was fun. Okay, so we have someone voting for Wonder Woman's love interest. So far, Wonder Woman DC crossovers is still winning. But so far, it's Wonder Woman DC crossovers, followed by ranking Wonder Woman costumes, followed by Wonder Woman's love interest, followed by Golden Age. So far, and yes, I have read JLA Avengers, Tevia. But I am going to, hang on. So here we go. So either of these is going to, let me put it this way, all 4 of these are going to be the topics for the next 4 weeks. But this is just determining in which order. Because these are all great topics. I could definitely do a stream. Wonder Woman versus Samus could be interesting, Dave. That's a good one. Or Wonder Woman meets Athena, my comic book character. In the meantime, while you guys vote, you know what? I think I'll play the Athena trailer. And by the way, it's still available for backing for 2 more weeks. The link will be in the description. So let me play that trailer. And this is a comic written by me, by the way.
My home has been invaded, my people slaughtered, and I could not do anything to stop it. Not again. I will not lose another home, another family. I am Princess Lyra of the planet Sutragar, Athena, the goddess of thunder, and this is my story.
All right, so that's my trailer. The link to back it will be in the description below, obviously. And Tevye, in terms of amalgam, I'm again save that for the amalgam stream because I can't do that off the top of my head right now. Wonder Woman would probably merge with Captain Marvel as they have a lot in common. They could, but they didn't do that in the main universe. It's also because the X-Men were pretty big back then, I guess. So let's see. Any votes? Okay, so we have 8 votes. Okay, so far it's Wonder Woman DC crossover still winning, followed by a tie between Wonder Woman's love interest and ranking Wonder Woman costumes. So can Wonder Woman pass the source wall? I have no idea. Probably. So let's see. So any other votes before I put a final? I'm going to put a final 30-second timer on with my phone, and then okay, so let me do that. And then after that, I will end the poll. Let me do that. So be a final 30 seconds to vote. If you guys want that, and again, all 4 of these topics will be covered in the next 4 weeks. I'm just figuring out in which order to do them, because all of these are fantastic stream ideas that we can do. And in the case of the love interest versus the ranking, if that doesn't get resolved as a tie, I'll just flip a coin. All right, so let me end this. All right, so what that looks like is next week we are doing Wonder Woman's DC crossovers, and then we are going to do Wonder Woman's love interest, followed by ranking Wonder Woman's costumes, and then finally Golden Age Wonder Woman. So I like this order, so I'm just going to take a screenshot of that. And yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave it. This was a fun discussion of like Wonder Woman, and I can't wait to see that. And yes, NJ, Wonder Woman with Shazam's powers did pre-do. What is the most powerful version of Wonder Woman? I would have to say Absolute Wonder Woman. Weakest version, DCAU. That's in my opinion. But anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, Steve Trevor is a sack of moldy potatoes. He belongs in a hydraulic press. Zoe's a Max about for life. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.